Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the biggest party night of the year, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, when everybody goes out to the bars and sees all the people they haven't seen since last year, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Want to wish a special birthday to my Uncle Bill and to James, who's always on here. Happy birthday to both of you guys. So, what do you do when you've had a goal or a vision or a plan or whatever you want to call it for a long time, and you've tried and tried and tried and tried and tried, and you haven't produced the result? Well, what is the one thing that we all kind of seem to say? First of all, we all kind of give up, right? It's an easy way to finally just go, I'm just not going to create this result, and so therefore I'm just going to walk away. We also all go around and say, I've tried everything. That's right, I've tried everything. Now, if you tried everything, if that was true, you would have created the result, because there's always a way to create the result, always. History has shown that when mankind is driven with enough intensity, when we have enough leverage, we create the result. From flying to sending a man to the moon to creating the atomic bomb to finding the cure for polio, whatever it is, we figure out a way when we are motivated enough. The electric light bulb is our greatest example with Thomas Edison. So when you've got that thing, by the way, we all do this. We all, just because I know this stuff and teach this stuff doesn't mean that I don't still fall into the same traps. We all do. We all have those things that we've tried and tried and tried, and we've never produced the outcome. And what's the difference between that and when you have produced the outcome? It's almost always a matter of leverage. Remember, change is never a matter of ability. Let me say that again. Change is never a matter of ability. It is always a matter of leverage. Like people who've never dealt with addiction look at addicts and they look at them as though they're weak or stupid, because it's like, well, how can you not beat this? Well, it's an addiction. And there's a reason they call it a disease. Now, however, remember, it is still in your control. So when we say it's a disease, we don't want to suddenly make it so that you don't have control of what's going on, because you absolutely do. You absolutely do, because we can always control our response to whatever happens. So if you were, let's say it's losing weight. If you wanted to lose a certain amount of weight, if you were really properly motivated, you would be able to lose that weight if you really had to, wouldn't you? I mean, if somebody put a gun to your kid's head, and it's a horrible way to look at it, but this is the type, how does the mob get everybody to do what they want? They make them an offer they can't refuse. Well, what's an offer they can't refuse? Well, usually it's a negative offer. Usually it's a threat. But that will actually work, won't it? So if somebody put a gun to your kid's head and you believe them and they said, I'm going to pull this trigger if you don't figure out a way to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, would you figure out how to lose 30 pounds in 30 days? Of course you would. And if you needed to lose 30 pounds in 10 days, you would figure out a way to do it. You could cut off a limb, you could do something, but you would do anything if you were properly motivated. An extreme example, but it shows whatever that is that you haven't been able to create the outcome, it's almost always not about technology. We always think that it's some piece of information, that it's some resource. We need different shoes. We need a different treadmill. We need a different app. We need a different plan. We need some sort of eating system. Okay, every system will work if you work it. It's never a matter of resources. It's always a matter of resourcefulness. When you get into a place where you are going to make that change no matter what, and you know when that happens, it's that moment of decision. Tony Robbins says it's in the moment of decisions that your destiny is created. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about the gap. Covey talks about the gap between when something happens and your response. That gap is what decides your life, because you decide how you're going to respond to the particular event. So when you go to Thanksgiving tomorrow and there's 400 piles of food, the gap is you go there and then you get to decide what it is that you're going to stuff into your face, and how much exercise are you going to do, and how are you going to respond to this particular situation. And when we're motivated enough, when we give ourselves enough leverage, we'll be able to create the outcomes that we want. And remember, we will do more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. And I hate to say that because I'm a positive guy, I'm an optimistic guy, but we will do a lot more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. So if like losing weight is something that you've struggled with, you want to, first of all, let's talk about gaining lightness, because your brain doesn't like it when we're losing something. So if you want to gain 20 pounds of lightness, get enough leverage. Commit to people that you're going to do this, and create a positive and a negative if you do it and if you don't. You want both the carrot and the stick. So the positive could be, you know, that you're going to buy yourself an outfit, or you're going to do a photo shoot, or you're going to do something like that, a vacation. And the negative could be that you have to do something, pick something that you really, really don't want to do. Whatever that might be. Eat a disgusting food, do something embarrassing, you know, whatever it is. Put on the skimpiest bikini that anybody can find and take a picture of yourself and put it up on TikTok, you know, whatever. Something that will absolutely motivate you so that you will create that result. It's always a matter of leverage. And like I said, we'll do a lot more to avoid pain than we will to gain pleasure. So whatever it is that you're getting ready to motivate yourself to do, it's never a lack of resources. It's always a lack of resourcefulness. If you make that decision to make that change, you'll figure out a way. But use both the carrot and the stick in order to motivate yourself. Give yourself the reward for sure. Celebrate the victories. But also give yourself the stick if you don't, and follow through. Make sure you've got an accountability buddy that's going to make you follow through. For me, it's my coach. I know when I commit to him that I'm going to do something, that if I don't do it, that the stick that we set up, which for me usually is a can of Alpo dog food, and usually it's something like lamb, where if I don't follow through and do this, then I have to eat the entire can and send him a video of it. That has motivated me beyond belief. I've never had an issue when I've had to do that. So figure out what it is that you want, make that decision, and use both the carrot and the stick in order to get yourself there. And understand that we've all gone through this process of trying to create an outcome. We've been tried, and we try, and we try, and we try. The language is one of the problems. Decide that, in fact, you're going to create that, and the past does not equal the future. Everything has brought you to right now in order to make this decision to go forward and change your life forever. So just because the past made it so that you didn't succeed however many times, which usually it's only one or two times, because usually you've tried the same thing over and over and over again. So it feels like 100, but really it's more like 2 or 3 because you haven't changed your approach. Whatever that is, decide, get the resourcefulness, do the carrot and the stick, and when you're properly motivated, change happens in an instant. Change actually happens in a heartbeat. So create that heartbeat for yourself so that you can live the rest of your life and look back and go, I am very proud of what I did. So happy birthday. I'm going to say hi to everybody. We got a lot of people. This is awesome. Mr. Drehobel, great to see you, brother. Mandy, thank you so much for being on. I will respond to your comments, and I really appreciate your comments. Cousin Chrissy out in Boston, have a great Thanksgiving. To eat lobster at Thanksgiving. And happy birthday to my Uncle Bill. And Brandon, great to see you, brother. Natalie's on here. So great to be in person with you. Chris, thank you so much for being on. And Isabella, thank you for being on. And happy birthday to James, who's usually on here. I think today is his birthday, so wish him a birthday. Happy birthday. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.